cool.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to our podcast, A Natural State of Mind, presented by CW2 Productions. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Wyman, and there's another Chris in the room as well, Chris Wolford, or C Wolf, as he's most commonly known.
I haven't figured out how to point to you. Like, I would never be
There we go.
Hello, I'm C Wolf, and I always interrupt. You're pointing the wrong way.
No, on my screen, I'm not.
You're pointing anyway. Hello, I'm C Wolf. That's Wyman. Thank you for joining us. I always interrupt there.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are listening with us, and thank you so much for doing so. You know, we're on our road towards doing a YouTube Live with our YouTube channel. So one day soon, hopefully.
I'm very disappointed in I did ask on the 501 page.
I saw that.
Kind of in the middle, but it was in the middle of the thing. I didn't come blatantly out and ask for it, man. We were only at 26.
Yeah, you got to put that shit in all
We need
caps
50
with exclamation points.
Come on. I want to see what the initial reaction from everybody was if they read it. It's a good way to see if you're trying to post something and you want to get your point out. Put it in the middle and see if people are really reading it.
Yeah.
I got my two daughters, so there were two of those like 18 that we got.
Yeah, I've got a couple of family members in there as well that don't play disc golf, but they are very supportive. So thanks to them. Man, we got a really cool show tonight. We're going to be talking to a special guest. We've got Eli Webb coming on, local TD in the Arkansas area, also local pro. He has been around and played quite a few high-end tournaments, Silver Series. I think he's even thrown the Jonesboro Open in there. But he's going to come in.
Yeah,
he's going to talk about some cool flex start stuff he's doing, some other tournaments that he's got going on. He's definitely one of our better TDs here in the Arkansas area. So I would think.
I still say he's the hardest working TD. I know Matt does a lot of tournaments. Matt's on cruise control. When you've done as many as him, he doesn't really have hiccups, I would imagine. I'm sure he has them here and there.
Does.
But everything's right. I mean, everybody has them kind of doing that. And he does run a lot of between him and Kevin Burdick, Eli and Kevin, those are the two hardest working TDs I know of that are really promoting the flex start and going up and down and playing multiple courses, different courses throughout the state and even out of state.
Yeah, you're right. They're both doing a very similar flex start series, which basically every weekend they've got one going on, and they're traveling all over certain regions of the state. Like Eli's a little more in the central area, whereas Kevin is up in the northwest Arkansas area, so up in Waltonville.
Yeah. Do you like blue or red?
Oh, I don't know, man. I see that it looks like it's changing to me. So I like the blue.
I'm so lame. I have LED remotes, y'all. I love LED lights. I think they're so great.
His place, if you wanted to go hallucinate, trip a little bit, and go to Wolford's house.
Come on with it. We can make some music. Yeah. Anyways, I appreciate Kevin and Eli doing what they do. I know it's something you and I talked about when we were kind of running events, but
I'm glad someone else is
doing a great job. I am too. Eli blew his motor out. We'll get into that when he comes on, but he blew his motor out coming, man. Those are things that you just don't really account for. So kind of the other thing we don't account for is this effing heat. Holy cow, y'all.
Man, I have not played. I actually played today, and I hadn't played for probably 2 weeks. Maybe it was a full 2 weeks. It might not have been quite that, but I'm pretty sure it's been a couple of weeks. And I sucked today. It was so bad. I
saw Brock had a nice video of you. I don't know how that shot went. I couldn't see it after that.
Did he? I didn't know that. I'm going to look that up now.
Yeah, he posted a video of you on
Facebook.
18 or 9, whatever it is, the one, uphill going downhill.
Oh, that might have been when I threw I threw a disc that he let me throw. It was a really cool old school pre-flight number buzz.
You know what's great is I love when somebody says, "Hey man, throw this disc, check it out." Now I always say no.
Why?
Because it kind of putting somebody on the spot. And what if I get a bad throw with it? That has nothing to do with the disc.
That's true.
It's not the disc's fault.
I mean, I think that most would agree.
It's like this brand new Alien I picked up.
would.
My Innova shit series.
Innova. Let's just put this top on this bottom and release another disc. They just are making so many ridiculous discs, I think.
So if somebody gave me this, if somebody said, "Hey, Seawolf, check this out," I'd be like, "No, I'm good." The only one I've ever really picked up and threw that I like was the Glitch. I enjoyed that little disc because it. But did you ask to throw that Buzz?
I did actually.
I mean, did you notice?
Because he brought it out. He showed me that he had 4 in the bag, and I was like, "Ooh, what is this one?" And it had a cool dye. It was kind of like the Simon Lizotte dye, where half green, half red. It was an old school Buzz too, and it felt so good in the hand. It threw really well, so I did ask if I could throw it.
I got a Nate Doss Buzz.
Man, screw Nate Doss. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, Nate Doss was the man. The Gerber
baby of the disc golf world.
Before Paul Macbeth. That's what's so crazy. He had the 3 titles before Paul.
Yeah.
And I saw where Paul's with Worlds coming up, they have that stat where every Worlds he's played in, first or second. That's pretty goatish.
Oh, yeah, that's goatish for sure.
Anoint him that.
We'll be getting into that as well. Like Worlds is coming up.
These are little... Yeah, but I have not been playing either. Played our 2 clubs, 1 cup. I didn't play that whole week. I played that Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And then my next round after that was Derek and I threw out at Moorharp. It was hot. I mean, we were very glistening. It kind of looked like the Top Gun movie, when they're playing the volleyball and stuff like that. I really felt like, man, I want to be Iceman, but I'm probably more Slider. I'm not Maverick or Goose.
Yeah, I'm going to put you more in the Slider. Was it Slider?
Yeah.
Was that his name? Okay.
Yeah. Slider, you stink.
Yeah,
that was like the worst line ever in that movie. Anyway, we were so sweaty, and it's the humidity, y'all. 100 in Texas, 105 and 105 here.
Very different.
When you have 65% humidity here and 30% there, because everything's dead and there's no moisture coming up out of the ground. I mean, my grass here is still growing, and it rained in a week or over a week, almost 2 weeks now, and it's that moisture keeps it.
We had so much rain earlier on in the summer that the growth is. We're usually in a 2-month drought here in Arkansas, here in at least the Little Rock area, and this year we've had so much rain in the spring and well into the summer, so we've just recently gone into a stint with no rain, but all of that growth is still flourishing. So,
yep. And every morning I see dew on my on the leaves or the leaves of the grass.
Yeah. It's way too damn hot for me to want to play disc golf. Working outside, get off work. The last thing I want to do is be outside longer.
Right. You work out in it. That's tough. I sit in the air conditioning building. I cannot wait to get out and sweat and get that corporate mind washing of gray walls out of my out of my soul by sweating it out. So I try to stay real busy at the work.
And I would too if we flipped the situation. I would totally be out playing in the afternoon because I would feel that need to fulfill that desire to be out and get some vitamin D. But
you've got to have the vitamin D in your life.
Had enough
and milk doesn't give you what you need. So
no, and I don't drink milk. I like it in my cereal and in my coffee, but I don't drink a glass of milk. It's not really my favorite.
You never like, oh man, I wish I had a cold glass of milk.
Never.
I love in the movie Anchorman when he's running and it's hot. He's like, "Oh, milk is a bad idea." When he takes a big, huge. I mean, it's so random. That movie was a lot of stuff in that movie is so random. But and then I played Saturday. Luckily we know Eli. We bribe him with coming on the. You can come on the podcast if you allow us to tee off at 7:00 in the morning. and that was the best choice. I mean, I don't mind leaving the house at 6 o'clock. I'm already up. So, but we teed off and we were definitely done. We saw people starting. I'll tell you what, and when we can talk a little more about it. I love Cedar Glades. You guys know how I feel about it, but
John Houck design course.
Man, John Houck design course. I mean, and I was talking to I believe JMO or Hancock today or during that round. I was just like, dude, you can see it, man. These lines are there. I forgot what the hell I was going to say.
Talking about Cedar Glades and how much you like it.
Oh, it's so close together. Oh my God.
So that's the
there's
one
a
problem.
couple holes you better pay attention.
Yeah, that's the one problem with it. I mean, there's not a ton of land out there. They were obviously allocated a certain amount of space. John Houck comes in, does his usual design where he's got probably 2 main lines on each hole. But yeah, the fairways are close together. So when you're playing a 72, or even sometimes they'll do a 90 out there.
The 90 in the snow is no fun.
And you are crossing fairways. You're in each other's way. And that's the one issue I have with the course. Otherwise, I love it.
Do you expect other cards to understand not to talk when they're walking up the fairway as you're trying to throw over in the other fairway? Like one, for instance, there was a group on hole 10, which is the really long hole. Great hole, 700 and something feet, man. And you got to make it through all these trees. And then you still got another, it's got to be like 222 from the outside of the trees up to the basket. Yeah. But they were on 10 and we were on 16, which both of them run. Matter of fact, on my second shot on 10, I was right by 16's basket. I was like, well, I was thinking to myself, I'm glad there's not another card coming down because you can't see them over hills, right? You don't know somebody's down there. I can't yell 4 on every shot. I mean, whether somebody hears it either. I don't know.
Although it feels like you need to out there. But yes, in answer to your question, do I expect people to know not to talk? I mean, I expect them to talk. So
I would too. I would too. Well, it was funny. I think we have a disc kind of thrown up into us. Uh-huh. And again, I don't know if they saw us or whatever. I get the frustration of the person on the card. He'll remain nameless. But it's either Bradshaw or JMO or Hancock. So, he was I think about to throw or getting ready to throw, and all of a sudden you got a disc hitting, you don't hear 4, and it's hitting above your head. It's frustrating. Yeah, I think you can get frustrated with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're already having a bad round. Whoo!
This guy wasn't. He was. Oh, maybe that.
You just gave him away.
No, there was 2 of them that had good rounds. It wasn't Bradshaw.
Did he have a really good round, or just a good round?
Sorry, I can't answer that question. So, anyways, let's see what else. But other than that, haven't been throwing, haven't wanted to throw. Yeah, I was telling Wyman earlier, I've been selling my soul to, if I'm going to be out in this heat, I'm going to get some money for it. And that's what I've been doing. A lot of
he's been on his corner
side jobs. Yeah. And but 20's a 20, bro. It's tough times in some places. So
I feel you. But yeah, man, you're right. It's just it's too hot. We're ready for that fall relief here in Little Rock, and actually we're getting it this week. But it looks to heat back up. I looked at the extended forecast, and we're right back in the triple digits, and in about 8 days. So
it's going to be what's it called? October is our first month where we really kind of hope for some reprieve.
Yeah, September is a hit or miss. So. Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
October is usually the time we start, and usually late October we'll start getting a little cooler. But yeah, we'll be talking to Eli. I'm actually looking at that disc golf scene right now. He does actually have the Greenbrier Flex coming up, so that's cool.
Yeah. Give me 1 sec. I'm sending him his thing now.
No, you're good. I'm actually needing to.
Flash everything and play some music or something like that. But so we had a little technical difficulty.
Okay,
What's
that's
new? Welcome to the show, Eli.
Everybody's got it.
Everybody does. I started listening to those other guys. They all have it, and we don't have some professional soundboard guy or engineer
Or intern.
Intern, but we do have Eli Webb, Team Prodigy extraordinaire. He promotes the heck out of them, does a great job of it. I love the Prodigy. I'm surprised I don't have one on me. The little hand towel, that clips on. There's nothing better than something that clips on.
Oh, I have
some
seen
of the best towels.
Well, damn, I need to try.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah, that's the question. Does it do an ample job of soaking and drying? So, is it the microfiber type towel?
It is. It's got a little snap on it, so you can undo the snap and then snap it to your bag. I think it does a really good job of drying. But if it's raining, I've probably got 20 towels in the bag, and as soon as it gets wet, it's out of one pocket into the next, and then I grab a new dry towel so that I never have to worry about it.
Nice.
There's your pro tip, everyone. Eli's rain pro tip right there.
Man, I love playing in the rain because I don't know. I feel like I play really well in the rain. I don't seem to have an issue with it, but I always come fully prepared. I have plenty of towels, whereas other players might not, and so I feel like I have a bit of an advantage.
And pro tip number 2, if you get all of your towels soaked in between rounds, wander them out like $2, throw them all in the dryer, dry them all, you're good to go for round 2.
Yeah, man. I remember you did that for the Reservoir tournament here, RIP, when we had that. Was that your tournament? Or was that the one Wolford and I threw? Yeah.
No, that was the one we ran, and Gage was a game changer and took those to his house because he lived right up the road.
Man, that was a game changer.
It is huge. And Eli, I like your idea, man, because even 3 towels, it's not going to do it. I don't care how good you think your chamois is or your deer skin or whatever the hell they used to make them out of.
ShamWow.
ShamWow, dude. That guy, whatever happened to that guy? Man, what happened to... I haven't seen that commercial in a second, but the Prodigy towels are nice. I sweat a lot. I don't know if you guys know this. Maybe Eli got to see me pop my shirt out after the round Saturday, and holy cow!
It was.
I soaked.
Pretty nasty, isn't it?
That was gross.
It is gross, and that's just a small portion of my sweat because, man, during the round and staying up at night and drinking beers instead of water doesn't help, or drinking tea. Something about this tea makes me sweat out the sugar probably. But
he could literally fill like a 12-ounce bottle, bringing his shirt out.
It's disgusting. I hate it. What happens is it starts to run down my arm and gets in between these 2 fingers right here on my putting, and it just something. Just having like that little slow, steady, and it's hard to always dry up.
You need one of those basketball little wristbands, like that they wear.
That's not
the tennis bands.
Another pro move.
So I'm going to start looking like Zach Melton. He was doing that for a while. I can just get a perm and have all that kind of stuff.
All right, well, let's get into. Eli's got a lot going on, man. You've been doing a ton with your flex start stuff. I love the thing that you've got going on with the flex starts. It's right now, especially in the summertime, it is what people really want to play because it's a 1 round and it's at your leisure. What they're going to be calling that D tiers next year with the new rule proposal. But I have seen a couple of your tournaments. Just one of them, 115 players for a flex start. That's crazy.
115 and 102 degree weather.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
I was too, man.
And you got how much? 72 at the next one, the Beaver Fork
68.
one? Okay.
68. We're going to add one.
And then what about yesterday, Saturday?
That was the 68.
That was it.
Oh, that was a 68. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought he said Beaver Fork. So Beaver Fork was the 115 and...
Correct.
Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
He's averaging like 90 people right now for 2 minis in the middle of this heat.
Yeah.
Minis, flex start, excuse me. The minis to me.
Well, and there was a good way to, kind of compare it is there was a 2-round tournament here in Little Rock, here in the city. The Eli's was over in Hot Springs. we're obviously the more populated area, probably a bit of a larger scene, and you see your flex start getting the numbers, whereas the 2-round tournament, when it was literally 118 heat index yesterday, and not so many signed up for that. So, congrats,
I didn't recognize many local names on that tournament either.
I didn't either.
I recognized one guy, and I want to give it up to Gideon. He may be my new man crush or player crush. I seem to
switch. Went against your other player crush.
He did, and I'm not off of you, Logan. I promise, I'm not off of you, man. But Eli, Eli's been crushing it, and so has Gideon. He shot 25 down with like a 10.05, 19 or something like that rating. Damn. And
wow.
Dude, that's nice. Good for him. Him and Logan went back and forth, it looks like. We'll just talk about that tournament because Tees in the Trees is kind of the really nice course here now in Little Rock. And so if that thing's going to fill or get some numbers, that's the course that's going to do it. Eli's had a lot of people. Yeah, that, man, I would have not signed up for it just because of the heat. I played that one round on a Sunday, and that was enough for me. But after, of course, we went off at 7. But after the round at Cedar, I felt like I could play again and probably done this just as bad at +3, 830 freaking 3 rating.
You should have came later in the day. There was a little bitty like storm cell that came through. It probably cooled everything off like 20 degrees. The breeze picked up.
Yeah, I was moving furniture when that kicked in.
I was working, but. You're right. It cooled it down 20 degrees in that that nice little cell that came through. It was.
And then they put that little creek on hole 8. I jumped right in. Oh my goodness! It was the best feeling ever.
Dude, that's nice, clean water too.
Dude, it was funny. Who said it? Bradshaw, I think, said it. He goes, "Oh, let's see if there's anything we can." Get out of the water. It's like, dude, that water's so clean that there's no disc ever gonna make it. And you think it's kind of close, man. That's deep. Some of those points are pretty deep down there.
Oh no, I gotta get in that water.
Shoulder high at the deepest.
Wow. Okay. It's like it's a pool.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. You could. It was super clear. It is. I love that hole. It treated me like ass, I think, but I love that hole. Actually, yeah. I just love that hole. I didn't go out of bounds, but yeah, it's fun.
Well, there's quite a bit going on this weekend, and this week, is kind of our relief week. Like we were talking about earlier, it is going to be getting hotter again in the next, after the next week. But it's still, if we're talking heat index, we're sitting at temperatures for this week that are going to be in the mid-90s, and so with our heat index and our humidity levels here in Arkansas, that can quickly be a 105 heat index. So it's still hot.
Hydrate. Eli did a great job at the tournament with free water. That's a cost that comes out of his pocket. And I was like, dude, give him one free and then charge the hell out of him for all the rest of the stuff. He was like, no, I don't want to do that, Chris. I was like, I love capitalism. And but
well, here's the deal.
But
you could go to Sam's Club and buy a 40-pack of water for $3.50. So, a bottle of water is like mere pennies on the dollar. And if that's what keeps somebody from getting dehydrated or overheated on the course, I think any TD, it doesn't matter where you are, free water should just be a staple.
I think it's an accepted cost of TDing, right? So you just figure that out.
Well, it's way better to get the water, have it for the players, than for you to have to deal with somebody that's having a heat stroke. So,
and it is on him. I don't know. Do you know any first aid techniques or anything? Do you ever do a first aid class? Or?
I've got a couple of basic disaster life support, first aid, CPR. I've got all those certifications, so I can use them if I have to. But I'd rather not have to.
No, nobody wants to. Heat stroke's one of the tougher ones, and once you get it, that person never really loses. Kind of every time you get in the heat, it's harder and harder to deal with. I did pound 2 waters before the round. I probably should have pounded about 3 or 4 that night before, but and then taking good snacks with you. Kat mentioned she likes, especially the Squatch bag with the little cooler. She likes to put pickles and stuff like that in there. It's a great snack. I think you should have snacks, even for those kind of rounds, because it's only a one rounder and it's probably going to move pretty quick because you get to kind of pick your time and when you go off. But yeah, take snacks. I was trying to get Eli, had a kid memory to bring out orange slices from like soccer tournaments and games. Oh, it's halftime. That's all a kid ever cared about. Where's the orange slices?
The best fruit is a cucumber. That's excellent to eat during
watermelon as well.
Watermelon's good, yeah. But cucumbers are like a B12 shot. They hold a lot of nutrient and of course hold water. So
I need to start getting those liquid IV boxes. There's so many of them out there now, but I do believe in that kind of stuff. I mean, they used to give you salt tablets in the Army, but that's also bad for you. Too much salts can counteract.
Were you in
that.
the Army? No, you weren't in the Army. Were you?
I watch enough movies. No, I was not. My dad was in the Marines. He did enough for him, and my forefathers did enough for this country. I said, I'll pay taxes.
I'm going to do my part. Well,
so let's get into the tournament. Since we got Eli, we had 768. I want to give you 70. I don't know why.
Just round up. Yeah.
I saw John Strange won it with a -7.
For whatever reason, the course played tough.
Nice. So
it played tough for. I saw the pros, but man, when you look, I haven't really. I know there were some lowers that shot well, and that hurts the ratings, right? Like if you have an MA3 guy shooting -8 for whatever reason, which can happen out there, and you have a pro guy like Abe shot -6, which was a 945 rated, I think, or something like that.
It was
because Michael May and I talked about. No, it's not good. It's a good score. Good score for me. Man, -6. Was I close to? No, I was probably more closer to even.
Did everyone play the same layout?
Yes.
Okay. I was curious because I did see an MA2 player shoot 8 down. No.
So when that MA2 player, when Jared Shelby, congrats Jared, congrats J-Mo on your -7 and letting Jared beat you again. Boom, boom, boom. Only that's an inside joke. They're not funny. But that does hurt the rating. I mean, because he's a 9, probably 20-something rated player, I would assume. Jared is. And so when that guy shoots better than your 10.04 guy, that really starts skewing. I got to think that it has to skew in this algorithm of confusion they have.
Yeah. It does. There's a lot of math behind it that very few people understand completely. Ratings in general, they're very hard to understand. But basically, if you just imagine it on like a bell curve, your 1,004 guys are at the top, your 900 rated guys are kind of in the middle, and then we'll say 700-800s at the bottom. If those middle or lower guys shoot up and they shoot down, it flattens that curve.
The curve shifts.
Pulls everything down instead of leaving that natural kind of curve up to the top.
Got it.
Did you do any Six Sigma or any statistical processing with that? Because bell curves, that's what that's all about. Is I did that back a long time ago, man. I used to do a lot of those root cause analysis with bell curves. Because, there's your numbers, right? And that just moves that. And so that's why my rating at +3 was an 833 because of that shift. And so now if Abe would have shot the -9 or whatever, -8, that's a different story. It starts, now we're shifting the other way to where I think I started with 860. I think is what it was. After I got done with that round, there was one card in before us, the MA50 guys, the Michael Chandler and them, and then mine, and I was like 860. So, and I was like, but then I looked, I was like 830 something. I was like, so like all these cards are coming in. It really makes it fluctuate. It's fun to watch.
Or stressful.
Man, I had a good time. I wish I would have shot better. It's like any tournament. You always want to shoot better. You can the shoulda, woulda, couldas. We did have a good card. Had 2 guys that shot really well. And then this story is crazy, y'all. If it's need any more evidence of karma in disc golf, we have one guy say to another guy, it dinked off and it rolled off, and he made some little smart ass comment. And then he goes to the next hole and putts, and it dinks off. He's like, oh, I guess I deserve that. And I said, no, you deserve it if the next one you throw and it dinks off. He did it 3 more times. It hit the basket and rolled back. And I go, that's why you don't run your mouth out on a course, because you will get that every time, man. Every time. It's hard for me not to say stuff, but yeah. And he took a 8 or 6 or something like that on that.
Wow. I'm trying to think of who it was now.
Yeah, it was Bratcher.
Okay,
hole 11.
I was thinking it was
the little like super. It was right after 10. Captain had like a chance for, I think, birdie on 10, and left a little short, and it rolled off. And he said something to him. Captain did hit that putt, but damn if he didn't. Man, it was crazy. It's crazy. It happened. And you guys know how I am with. Oh, I hate this hole. I'm not even gonna get off the tee box. No, you're not. Just go fucking. Sorry, put me a quarter in. Just go put it 50 feet in front of you, because that's all the further you're really gonna get with that kind of attitude.
Yeah, you're right. It's I mean, disc golf is a state of mind. If you're in a negative state of mind, you're probably not going to play well, and that's just like most things in life. If you're just going to be negative towards yourself, talk down about yourself to yourself, chances are that whatever you're doing, you're not going to do well at, or it's not going to go your way. You're going to set expectations that, yeah. So.
I mean, Eli got dished out a bad taste of reality on his way down here. He didn't really post about it. I saw his picture where you were saying I'm on my way, but I didn't see the picture where it says my engine blew up and I'm on the side of the road in Newport. Oh, shit. God, what a god awful place.
Yeah, it was not a fun hour and a half, 2 hours with no AC.
Oh, I bet not. No, I'm sorry, man. That sucks.
Truck's totaled.
But he came down. He made it.
It's a goner. I'll need to get a new one. Ideally, I would have got a Sprinter van. That way I could live out of it for tournaments or whatever and go on the road more. But I made it down. That's all that matters. I was kind of like looking around. There was nothing to rent in Jonesboro, so I was like already had something booked in Memphis, and I was just going to like Uber back to Jonesboro and then drive my actual car to Memphis and go get a truck and then come pick up the trailer and come. But we were able to shuffle vehicles and make it happen.
Nice.
I mean, that's what he was willing to do, y'all. And I probably just would have called no joy, especially being that far out and having to go to Hot Springs. He could have called no joy and nobody would have faulted him for it or anything like that.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, Eli, I think that you're one of the best TDs in the state as far as what you put into it, your work ethic, and you always put on such a great tournament. I was bummed that I wasn't able to make the Flex Start Saturday because it was at one of my favorite courses in the state and also being one of your tournaments. So looking forward to the next one. And, tell us a little bit about this Flex Start series you have going on. I know the next one's going to be in Greenbrier at their city course. So what's the future of all this look like?
So I've got a couple of free weekends after next weekend. I'm kind of giving it a little bit of a break, just to let the community kind of take a breather. If we're oversaturating the population with tournaments and things like that, it's not going to go over very well. People are going to get burnt out really quick. So I am kind of taking some time, probably at least a month, kind of let some of the other, entities in Little Rock, if they want to run something, like let them have a shot at it.
Sweet Wyman, we can start running events again. Kick ass.
I would say look at the schedule though, because it's filling up pretty quick. It seems like there's almost an event every weekend until maybe September.
There is. Area. Yeah.
I noticed that you and another tournament's close together.
Yep. It's and I talked to them about that. I apologized to him a couple weekends ago when I was there. There's no malicious intent to me scheduling a tournament. At the beginning of the year, Matt Lloyd was like, if you don't schedule your stuff with the PDJ 90 days in advance, that event date is fair game to anybody. I reached out to Matt. Matt said, okay, I put it on there. So I hate that we're so close. I really want them to succeed. I know they've already got 10 times the registration amount that I have, which I only have 2. So 10 times 2 is 20.
Yeah, they have 21.
Hey, you got
a lot
5,
of folks may not know a lot of folks may not know the process of what it takes for a tournament. Matt Lloyd is our state. He's that's an elected position,
Correct.
right? Yeah. I put my name in. I wrote my name in because you could do.
Was that last year or for this year?
That was this most recent voting.
Yeah,
I think
elections just finished up. I think July 30th, 31st was the very last day that you could vote.
So Matt has a.
They'll probably take a while.
And it's just like our national voting, 25% at best go out and vote. Did y'all vote?
No.
I know Eli did.
I didn't. I didn't know.
Then Wyman, we don't want to hear it. You don't have a voice. I love when people say that in the national world. If you don't vote for the president, you have no voice, and whatever, dude. Me not voting is so American, right?
I'm gonna call you out.
It's my right.
There's no way you didn't know. They sent about 10 emails out, so there's no way that you didn't know that the registration and the elections were online.
Yeah, you saying that, I'm pretty sure I scanned through my email and saw 1 or 2 of those and was like, oh yeah, I need to probably read that at some point, and that just didn't.
So I wrote my name in. I don't think I'm going to win with 1 vote, but it goes to the state, and this is every state. So every state has a state representative or whatever, a state TD. And what Matt does is he puts out a Google Sheet spreadsheet, and it has all the tournaments, and everybody goes in and sends it out to all TDs. Eli, I guess us still, Charles.
It's open to everybody.
Daniel Moose. It's open to everyone. But I'm just thinking of the TDs right off the top of my head that run a lot of the events in the state. And you're supposed to put your events in there. And like Eli was just saying, 90 days. You have 90, you better have it on. If you have it on there 3 months ahead of time and somebody kind of tries to come in there, Matt is going to say no. As far as I know. I'm not saying that's his job. So he says no. You don't have it on there and you kind of drop it in because you're kind of him-hawing about it, right? I know Wyman and I did that with the Killer Bees tournament this year. But that's so at the beginning of the year. In February, you're not running into anybody. And
no.
Here, like you said, every week is starting just a slot. If it's a flex start, if it's a this, if it's a that, if it's a NADGT. I mean, there's so many things that can. So, and then it's up to the TDs. If you're going to be a TD, I assume you know the rules, right? That how it works. And you reach out to Matt, really. You send him an email and say, hey, I want to run an event. And he's like, okay, cool. Or nope, can't do it.
Yeah. Well, and Eli, I know that you had a lot of your tournaments up really early. I noticed that going through disc golf scene at the beginning of the year. Of course, the flex starts are a newer thing that you started doing pretty recently. But you were probably some of the first tournaments I saw on disc golf scene for 2023.
Yeah, so Matt posts that link to that spreadsheet in November, and that's kind of when he starts taking new applications for tournaments for the upcoming, what will be this year 2024 season. And so as soon as that date opens, weeks before that opens, I've already got, I go back 2 and 3 years through the calendars, through disc golf scene, through the PDJ, and I see what events were what weekend, and I try to schedule around those. Matt gives preference to those that are on the same weekend so that you can continue kind of keeping those same days.
I'm sorry, did you hear that, Wyman? He said he goes back 2 or 3 years at looking at previous events to see if there's something going to slot. If every TD would do that, we would have some the whole purpose of this is to bring amazing event or really good events on the reg, right? Not overlap. But you have to do what he just said. And you probably look at around the state, probably Oklahoma, Mississippi, Louisiana, see if there's any big tournaments kind of running there as well. Tennessee.
I do. It's harder. I think Matt's one of the only people that actually has a running spreadsheet. Obviously, that might not. I mean, some other people might have them. I've not run one out of state, so I don't have access to those. I've emailed a couple of those coordinators, and they haven't responded back to me, which is frustrating. Because that's literally their appointed job.
Right.
And sometimes you forget it's an appointed position, right? But yeah, that should be. And I mean, you don't want to be that guy and then go above his head. You can do the research, but why people are wondering why, man, it's a big deal to understand what's going on around you because you want the better players from the other states to come here and play. Just like our better players should go to their states and play in their tournaments.
Absolutely.
Like what's coming up, Mississippi Glory.
Autumn Glory.
Autumn Glory, yeah.
Okay, I almost said Glory
The
Hole.
Glory Hole Open? Yeah.
Dude, that's what I call it in my
I think
head.
we found our next tournament name.
Yeah, Autumn Glory, which is a great tournament in South Haven, Mississippi, which is pretty close to y'all, right, Eli?
Yes, it's about an hour 10.
All right, hour 10. So it's a great tournament. And I saw where, your buddy who won
Kellen
states,
McCann.
fudge my life. Thank you. I saw where he posted, because somebody posted a tournament. Oh, that's the same weekend as Charles and them are running that Cali tournament. I would definitely, Wyman, we can talk about it. I'd definitely go play Autumn Glory over that.
I'm looking it up right now because I love that tournament. It's I think it might
I know
be
you guys have played it.
Hold on. Let's see. No, there's plenty of space.
There's a couple spots.
There's a lot.
Yeah, it's three courses. There's quite a few,
three
right?
courses, yeah. They'll do Latimer Lakes,
So that's at
and
least
then the city park or something.
That's at least 204 or 72 times 3 is
216.
216. Thank you.
Yeah.
When's your birthday, Eli?
March 19th.
You just smell like a Virgo. I mean, the way you do things, and because the thoroughness, and so that's how it works. That's what Eli's trying to do. He and I have talked about it a lot. That's why Wyman and I aren't running tournaments. It's hard to find a slot and run a good quality tournament to draw people. The great thing about Eli's Flex Starts, there's $25. You get $25 worth of merch, whatever that may be, and he does have
20.
He had my alien.
He's got a very cool mobile shop. Yeah, and then
Just
don't
$20.
forget that piece of shit disc.
Dude, that's one for you. That's a $10 bill. Look at it. It looks like an alien.
Look at this.
But this is a fun disc. I'm happy he had this. The two local shops did not have it, so I got to buy it from him.
Nice. Yeah, you do have a good setup, Eli. Definitely. The shop.
A lot of Prodigy items.
I try to keep my ear to the ground. I've got the entire Prodigy lineup. I don't necessarily have every disc and every plastic, but I at least have 3 to 6 discs of every mold.
I saw a new disc coming out. Speaking of Prodigy, Isaac Robinson had something to do with
the
it.
archive.
Yeah. God, yeah. Is it out? Is it out yet, or do you have that in your selection?
In the trailer. I think I have 8 of them.
I'll be playing your Flex Art just for that. I want to because I almost love him more than Calvin. I just think the way he throws and the way he is and holds his demeanor and everything is the way he should be. But yeah, it looks like a fun deal as well.
Really good in the hand, and it's super overstable for a mid range.
Okay. I thought it was an overstable one. Man, with the way the Prodigy players have been playing this year on the Pro Tour, I'm like, I'm kind of wanting to try some of these new discs they've got coming out. Just curious. Prodigy's killing it this year. So,
we've done really well at a lot of the big events. I don't think people know how well we've been doing.
We've been talking about it. I know I have. I mean, because you have Gannon, Isaac, Ezra, the one kid you don't even know who he was. He won a tournament.
Parker Webb.
Thank you. whatever. Yeah, I mean that kid was Prodigy, and then I got to watch this cool little video of when he went to this to the warehouse and got a bunch of discs. Like I've seen KJ and Luke do. I mean, when I think Prodigy, I think Luke and Gannon. Those are my two, and Kevin. Those are my guys. And now Isaac or the Robinson brothers, because Ezra did great this weekend. So
pulled out the win.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, Ezra had a 1092 rated final round today.
How do you feel about that? Like, because you're playing the course, right? It does have something to do with the players, but I'm always thinking because it is a Silver Series.
Was that a Silver
People
Series?
Usually are taking.
It was a Silver Series.
Okay, I thought so, but I wasn't completely sure.
It's also the longest running tournament in the United States, to my knowledge.
Yes, yeah, you're right. I remember hearing that.
What's the dude's name?
Jim Palmieri.
I keep thinking it was Jim Palmer. He's an old baseball pitcher back in the day. He wore jockey underwear.
The history behind that tournament is crazy.
Okay, well,
he ran the first tournament, or he ran the first ever American Flying Disc Open back in '74. Back then, they didn't really do cash payouts or anything, so first place prize was a car.
Ooh.
So, Jim,
a Datsun or something like that. 70
B210. And
he called it. Wow.
Dan Stork.
Dude,
Dan Stork-Reddit, PDGA number 3.
Wow.
Took it down by 11 strokes.
Okay. Very cool.
So all of the trophies.
I didn't know any of that. I love
the trophies this year for the 50th annual were steering wheels from a Datsun B210 from 1974.
That's pretty cool. I honestly did not watch a whole lot of that tournament. I think I had it on a little bit Friday, but then my weekend was just so busy that I never got to it. But I did check UDisc Live out pretty often. And from what I saw of the course, it looked like a really fun course to play. And that's not one that plays at just one course. It's kind of been all over up there in the Northeast. Is that right?
I can't answer that for sure, but I would assume that up there in that New York area, they could bounce around a couple different spots.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked like a good course, man. And at 1090, what? 1092?
1092.
Rated final round? Jeez.
For a 13 down, I think.
And that's his first
13 down win. Gets you a 1092. Man, I really like to know the rhyme and reason behind that.
Well,
I know, like Eli said earlier, if you've ever watched the movie The Big Short, where it talks about the housing, love that movie. And man, it shows you that there's some really smart people out there that can come up with some equations that if you can't solve it, and only they can, how are you going to disprove it? And I feel like that's what ratings are, man, because you just don't know. You think kind of got it, and you tell me minus 13 with a lackluster field. And I say lackluster because I know the bigger names that I'm accustomed to. But by the way, I'm kind of upset. Did they show the mixed doubles? I would love to watch that. Like
for
Gannon Burns, this
Worlds?
other girl was. Yes.
Yes, they filmed it. Some of the coverage is coming out soon if it's not already out.
I forgot who won. I saw that. I was like, man, to me, that's something, because Isaac Robinson was playing with somebody, and I saw Gannon throwing, and I don't know if Calvin played or not, but I'm sure he did. And that's fun to me. But minus 13, God, what did homie shoot at James Conrad shoot at Jonesboro? And he didn't even get a
that was
1100 rated around
down,
for that.
I think, at Jonesboro. And
yeah 16 or 17.
It was.
And what was Paul's? What was Paul's minus 18? The perfect round. Whoa,
it wasn't even 1100 rated.
No. Yeah.
Right. So now
that's
why I'm trying to figure out how that minus 13 gets over to the 1090 range. I'm nothing to take away from him. I love Ezra. I love watching him. He's kind of the everyday kind of player build.
Yeah, that still has time to adjust too.
Is that fair?
No, that's fair. I'd say that's fair. So
there's been a lot of talk on ratings this year and past years. There was a podcast came out where Jerm was on it with Sexton, and they talked about how the rating system needs to be revamped and gone through. So it's not on a bell curve, so you can't have guys pulling you back down the slide, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it rewards those that shoot really well and not punishes. That's not the right word, but It's more in favor of the guys that shoot really well and gives them actually represented rounds based off of how the course should shoot and rate.
It's interesting, y'all. Read up on it's on the PDGA rules and stuff. It kind of explains ratings. It's kind of vaguely wrote, but it's tough to. But so who's the Prodigy girl? Who's their number one female?
That's kind of tough. I mean, Chantel Bodinsky won her first Elite Series, or I guess it was silver tournament this weekend. She plays for Prodigy. I would say Caroline Henderson.
She had pink hair?
She does.
Okay.
I would say Caroline Henderson is probably our number one right now.
That's a name I know. The other girl, I saw her playing because I watched a little bit of it, but then I saw today something popped up and where she'd won, and I was like, oh, okay, good for her. I like that. I like new blood winning, and I think it's fun, and give her a taste of success and see how she goes with it.
I'm going to butcher the name, but it's Likia Sorensen. She's from overseas. She's also really, really good. She's been up there at the top the past couple of years.
She's I've definitely watched her game progress over this season. She's dating Bradley Williams, so she's getting, I'm sure,
getting top-notch coaching.
And it shows. I've seen her play so much better. And she's been, kind of consistently at the top of the leaderboard for the past, few weeks. So
that's key, right? We talk about it a lot where you got somebody finishes wins and then next week they're 40. I like for you to win and maybe 10 is about as far as you need to drop, right? And then, get you a 7th place and get you another top 3 and hang around there. Don't win and then just fall out the bottom.
Yeah. And that's been how most of the MPO winners have been this year. They're usually, if they win an Elite Series, a major, or, even these Silver Series, and then the next week or the next 2 weeks, they're just, they're shooting in their 30th place. So it seems to be a curse. You win, you're just not going to be in the top 10 the next week.
KJ's been playing well for Prodigy lately. I enjoy. He's something else to watch, man. You never really know what he's going to do, and he puts a ton of effort into those shots. I mean, falling down a lot of times and doing what he does.
Yeah,
he took a step back earlier in the year to kick off his DJ business a little bit more.
Listen, I mean, right. He has good for him. He's a young guy, and I know a lot of people, I think, because I heard like a term he started kind of doing it, and people are like, oh, he's refocused, and he's now more concentrating on disc golf than DJing. DJing it gives him an outlet. I'm all for it. It's not my brand of EDM music. It's a tad different, but I'm not going to buy a reverb either. It's a very beefy disc, I'm sure.
It's very overstable.
Yeah, I knew it would be. I mean, it just screams. I mean, reverb in the music world it's kind of overstable. I would say it's an overstable sound.
But his distortion's pretty good.
But is it? Is that a?
It's an overstable approach disc. Kind of comparable to his own.
Okay. So, and I've been seeing some guys doing the grenade, like throwing the grenade so hard that like they don't throw it just up and down, man. They're actually putting it in flight and snapping these things. And I have to find the video, man. It was this.
They'll blow out their shoulder in a few years.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know all about that, right? You've had injuries before.
Yep. Tore my shoulder once. Pretty sure I tore it again here recently.
Oh man.
So
they're tough injuries. Obviously, as you get older, I tore my rotator cuff when I was 13 years old, and my shoulder was never the same, ever.
Man,
I've been learning right-handed, so that's been interesting.
Hey, there you go. That's speaking of a Prodigy player, Will Schustrick actually had to do that, where he had to start throwing left-handed because of his injuries and whatever else is going on with him. That pretty much ended his career for a big chunk of time. But I know that he's been playing lefty for some shots, maybe not all shots, but
he's back to throwing right-handed a good bit now. I'm sure he can still whip out a pretty solid left hand and possibly even put me to shame.
Yeah, I'm sure. So no, I saw Will at JBO, and that's where I learned about him and how much he does for Prodigy. He does a lot for Prodigy. That's why I asked you earlier if he is the man, because I don't know a lot of the structure of Prodigy. I used to call it Euro Trash Disc, but hell, they're made in Ohio or something like that. Or
Georgia.
I forget where their home quarters is. Georgia, that's right.
They just have they have a lot of European players, though, and there's the Prodigy Tour. I mean, they have Prodigy Europe, but I think Seppo Payu is actually a big part of that.
His for family Prodigy owns the Europe department.
Oh, okay. That's
if I'm not mistaken.
That's cool. And they're always at Jonesboro. I love the big, on hole one, the big green tent and behind hole one and going into hole two. And then the party tent is a Prodigy. Yeah, it's a Prodigy tent.
I spent almost 2 hours on the phone with Will Monday talking about Jonesboro, talking about potential job opportunities for me, joining their tournament directing team so I could team up with them to run larger events with them, stepping into a larger role for the AM side the coming year to make sure that runs smooth and to appease some of the frustrations from this year.
Well, man, you're doing a great job. I mean, dude, I know you started this series. You have seen over, really, I mean, numbers that blew me away. I was shocked by the 115 at Beaver Fork. That's I've crazy
never seen that number for a flex start. That's shit.
Only in Texas.
Not a flex.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But I was talking to Bob Ellis, and Zilker Park got on the reg. It's like 100 people. It's kind of crazy to think about when you have a flex start. But and you're doing a great job for what is like your biggest roadblock that you run into out there? Is it the dates? Getting with these other TDs and trying to
we need a more central avenue of communications for TDs to come together and talk about scheduling and things like that. That's not necessarily a big roadblock. The biggest roadblock for me is trying to create this business and figure out how to navigate the tax world and the management side of the business. For me, I don't have any business experience. I'm just doing this off the cuff, which means a lot of these manufacturers won't sell to me. They don't see mobile shops and mobile tournament stores and things like that as a trustworthy or even positive way of selling their disc that they want to align with. So they've basically shunned us out and said, we won't sell to you at all. Innova was one of those people that were like, we won't do business with you.
Wow.
I knew it. Innova is a brick and mortar. They only sell to brick and mortar, right? They don't.
Trilogy, same way.
Alcott has told me the ins and outs of Chris Alcott, our buddy who runs TDs out of Sherwood, who he pays a lot of his own money to Innova at first. He puts a lot of money up front for those Innova tournaments because you have to get a lot from, or it costs a lot or whatever to get Innova. It's kind of crazy, but I get it. That you just don't want that out there everywhere, and you don't want to give a great deal to somebody, and then all of a sudden 2 weeks later they're not running tournaments because their engine blows out and they can't run any tournaments anymore.
And there's really not a lot of, if you're running tournaments to make money, you're either scalping players, you're taking money off the top or somewhere that it shouldn't be, or you're just not doing it for the right reasons. I mean, there's not a whole lot of money to be made in running tournaments, so you really have to have that passion to do it if you want to do it full time. I don't make a whole lot of money doing this. It's barely enough to keep me going. So that's been hard. So the truck loss will probably set me back, and I'll probably have to take a step back for about 2 months.
Yeah, understandable. And Wolford and I know exactly what you're talking about when you just mentioned all that. You're usually, if you're actually making anything out of it, that's kind of crazy. It's usually a loss. So having the shop, if you have a brick and mortar and you're running tournaments, then you can be pretty set. And it can be something where, I'm not going to say lucrative, but at least you would be making enough to continue to travel, stuff like that. So it's a bummer about your van, man.
There's some established TDs that easily make 60, 75,000 a year.
Oh wow!
But it's a grind. They're out there every weekend. Essentially how it goes is you buy a disc for, say, $10, wholesale from Innova, and they say you can sell it minimally at 17. So you sell it for 17. Well, you've just made $7 off of a disc. Mm-hmm. And so that's where our money comes from to keep us going. It's just whatever we can mark it up. And a lot of my stuff I'm buying, for $20 just from 1010 or from Perch or whatever, and I'm marking it up $1 or $2 just to keep that cash flow coming in.
Right. Well, I had no clue that TDs that have been so well established are making $75K a year. That's pretty awesome.
They understand. It was kind of jacking up for me. I didn't even talk. You guys did fine. They understand where the ins and outs are, right? Because there are some places I think you can. I don't want to say cook the books, but man, it's what you put down. In case everybody didn't know, there's a really great program, tournament, TD, what's it called? Helper, or whatever the heck
tournament
it's called.
Manager?
Thank you. Tournament manager, where you have to put all these numbers in. You can't, PDGA has to see these. It has to be approved. The program won't let you move on if you're kind of over, under of where, or over, I think it'll let you move on. Under, you're definitely not moving on. Payouts, player packs, where I think that's where smart guys can kind of figure it out. But I'm sure Callie makes great money doing what she does. I don't know what her costs are. Callie
McMoran.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She does for Innova. She does a great job, but she's also driving like a F350 or whatever it is, dually around, I think, as well, and carrying a really huge trailer, like real nice. She's got LEDs set up, and I mean, she does a great job, right? But that's what she does. So
yeah, she does.
I don't think she does anything else.
That's kind of all she does. She used to try to double and do the tour and do that, and now she's just full time. Tournaments, she's got that Masters tour,
right? And yeah, good for her that has been going on. I know it's the first year for it. Low turnouts in some places. They were hoping for big turnouts, but maybe that catches on.
There was
PR
one scheduled for Persimmon. I guess there's just not enough interest.
That's correct. Just not enough interest, and Persimmon's not the only one. There was a couple other places, and like I said, it's just catching on. It is its own little tour. So if you want to play, and it's not cheap. It wasn't cheap. I thought about it because I think I could have played in it for whatever, but it's just not cheap. Give it up for Will Harrison. Will Harrison out of Hot Springs, the Wizard Will. He putts with Wizards, or used to. I'm assuming he still does. Mm-hmm. He's been living that dream, man, of the Masters life. And say what you want, he's got his own disc. Oh fudge! Who makes the Wizards?
Gateway,
yeah. What's the name of the company? Thank you. I was gonna. Gateway, it's like their best disc, right? Gateway and the Mongoose. Abe throws a Mongoose as a roller. So, but he's sponsored by them. He's doing what he's doing. He was up in whatever the hell St. Louis over the weekend. They had a big tournament there. I mean, Kale LaVisca's winning it with points, but Will's pretty close to him. So it's a great avenue. It's just is that what it is? Oh, yeah. Kale's a great product. Another great Prodigy guy, dude. I mean, seriously, Prodigy is like, every time you talk about something, it's just Prodigy. Except I don't really know anybody that throws Prodigy discs except Prodigy Street Team people.
If you look closer, there's kind of one or two floating around in a bunch of people's bags. The more I run stuff, the more I get plastic.
Sure, a D1, something like that.
I mean, we've got a plastic for everybody. I mean, we've got 7 or 8 different plastic varieties So if you want something that's gummy, it's your 400 plastic. If you want something a little stiffer, it's 750. If you want, we got 2 or 3 different kinds of putter plastic. So I advertise it as we have something for everybody. Our numbering system is super simple. 1 is super overstable, 6, 7 through 9 super understable.
Whatever the other number is. Yep.
And if it's too overstable, just
they're putting flight numbers on it. Correct. Now, right? They used to not, but now I think the discs are having flight numbers. Yep. Which, listen, I liked Prodigy before. I just kind of said I'm going Innova. I enjoyed the F7 and I putted with a PA4 and before I start, and I thought a P2 was actually a Prodigy. And so I was like, yeah, and I just thought I was switching over, and I was like, oh, this is Discmania. What? Oh, Innova Discmania. Okay, cool. That's fine. No, but they make great stuff. They do. I love all the A5. I've noticed a lot of folks do actually throw that disc. I believe is what it is. A5.
The A3.
So
yeah,
A3 is that the
one. The A5 is good too. It's just a little straighter than the A3.
Well, the people I run with, us old guys who want a little more understable, they're A5s. No, I'm just playing. But yeah. What is it? M4 is the other one I see a lot of.
M4, so straight to understable mid-range. Our air plastic line, our lightweight kind of plastic line is really kicking off. That's going over really well lately.
I used to chunk a 150 D1, man. I loved it. I shredded Bud Hill with it. I had my best round there at Bud Hill with it because I was just able to set it out, and you knew it was always going to come right back. It was a nice light disc.
I've got 4 or 5 air plastic discs in my bag.
So what?
Yeah, you're getting up.
What weight are those? Just out of curiosity, like 160.
We've got a couple different options, so they can be anywhere from like 150 to 159, and then kind of like 160 to like 165, 66, I think.
Nice. I have started bagging a lot more lightweight stuff as well. Yeah, just no need for all that. I think it's smart, man. I mean, yeah, no need for everything to be max weight. So,
especially if you know the weather conditions, or if they're subject to, have max weight in there if it's windy and all that good stuff. You can still set a lightweight out. You just have to set it out right, because if you don't, it's gonna. But because I do throw it. But I also throw the max weight toward the beginning of the round, and then as my energy level, whatever, I'll start hitting that lightweight stuff, just to get, and that helps me personally. That's the way I look at it. 2 rounds in one day, yeah. Second round's all lightweight. No way I could throw max weight that day. So
yep. Going back to tournament stuff, if you're at the end of the event and you think that something shady's gone down with the payout or something like that, you can request the tournament manager, copy of the payouts and things like that. It'll tell you how much percentage was paid back out to the division, who got paid what.
Yep.
Before round 2,
you have to.
TDs have to publish, or before the final round, TDs have to publish the projected payout.
Okay, it's the final round. Yep. Is that what it is?
A lot of people don't know that. And then the event feedback button is super helpful too. So if you go to any PDGA tournament page where you check your ratings and whatnot, up in the very top right corner is event feedback. It's there for good and bad feedback. Most people don't even know that button exists.
I got a bad feedback once because I went and let somebody smoke weed, and I'd let people drink at the flex.
I would say 100% of the time.
Or at that league, that was a league.
It's always bad feedback, but no one ever puts good feedback in. The PDGA keeps track of all of that. It goes into your TD profile on a server somewhere, and if there's any issues or things like that, they keep track of all that stuff. So, if you play a tournament that's got a really good turnout, or some TD went super over the top for this A tier or whatever, like, please send in good feedback, because that goes a long way. And we get that directly.
It does.
Nice. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because
I guess I didn't really maybe know that. I'm not a big feedback guy, even though my job at Dillard's is now dealing with bad feedback or bad reviews. So there's no way I would ever leave a comment your name's out there. I don't care if you put undisclosed. Listen, y'all. I can tell you right now, I can get your email address. So, yeah, because these people put undisclosed and they put these like god awful remarks, and it's like I'm writing them. I'm like, I bet you didn't know I was going to be
Yeah, but you didn't expect an email back.
I do believe positive feedback is a huge thing. I hate that the only feedback you ever get in life is typically negative. So I think the positive feedback, though, Eli, is the average of 90 something for 2 flex starts and being 115 on one and 68 on the other. So that's 91 and a half. So that's pretty good, man. Even all the couple things Wyman and I ran, I always thought we got good numbers. We never touched that. The only thing that I would think would be the res league that I ran, that when you're averaging, I think we averaged 60 at res that year.
You had good numbers for that.
That was fun to play.
That was this is a golden day. Oh, res. What else you got, Eli? Yeah, I think the getting all of us TDs together, and that's I know Matt's busy, and that may be something somebody else has to.
So
oh, you have an idea?
Yeah, I got probably a terrible idea.
No idea is a terrible idea. I've been told that my whole life. Like, no ideas. Again, then the guy starts talking. You're like, okay, maybe yours was. Hold on a second. No.
So, I've worked for nonprofits for like 15 years, and I would think that it would be really cool to have maybe a 5-person board. Treat it like a nonprofit board. But anyways, all these 5 people, which Matt would be included in that. And you can take it regionally from the state. We've got Central, Southwest, or just South, really, because it's really just Camden down there throwing tournaments. Of course, up into Jonesboro area in the Northeast, then the Northwest. That would be Matt. Russellville area, Fort Smith area. But yeah, and then just have do a once a month, or maybe once every other month, or even do it quarterly. Whatever would be necessary. But for those, just have a Zoom board meeting basically, and that would just keep those. All these guys have to be a TD. They have to been running some tournaments, and yeah, y'all just get together and discuss it through Zoom meeting. Discuss what's happening in the year, what's happening in that general timeline, what's coming up. I don't know.
It sounds way too simple. And it makes way too much sense. I know. It's all it has to be. And the only thing that will end up happening, the convolutedness of it, is who gets to be like the representative of Little Rock. Whoever
Central, was the one voted in.
Right. Because there's going to be the one TD, or if he don't like me, we don't ever get a fair shake or something like that. I'm just thinking, I'm a big worst case scenario when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're being very pessimistic right now.
Man, no, because there's going to be somebody get left out, and they're like, they'll wonder why, and why when I asked, or where's my say at? But I think I just think it needs just a hair refining, and everybody get on this page. You don't have to, maybe just the central guys, the Empires, the licensees doing what he's doing. I don't need to have D. Lee talking about Central Arkansas, because he doesn't really run anything down here. Now he wants us to go up there and play like Battle of the Borough as well as we should. I think you have to get out and go to these other communities and play in their tournaments. I just think it's the best thing for the state. Instead of everybody, I only play Northwest Arkansas. I only play WAFTA events. I only play, Diamond State is that kind of. That's what they're supposed to be about. They are Diamond State. They do have the state title matches, but it's tough. It's tough, man. It's a very, after being in this for the last few years, you can see how I think I see how people think, and there'll be some people get upset, feel like they're left out, but that's part of life, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And you're right. People will feel left out. So
if you want your voice heard, get out there just like Eli does, just like Wyman and I do. If you want to make a change, get out and do it. Don't wait on somebody else to come in and do it and expect them to have your idea and implement it. Go implement yourself. Go run an event. Get with the locals. Get with some people. It's fun. It's not that hard, and anybody can do it. You just have to put a little time, effort.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Do your research.
Sorry, go ahead.
Don't step on toes.
Yeah,
do your research.
Very good point, Eli. Yeah. Do not step on toes. And there's a lot of that. It gets really close a lot of the time. So
it is, and Matt said I could do it, but that's still, I get that. And Matt's also not the one running the event that's going up against it. He runs one almost once a month, right? Up in Northwest. They're always running events. They're always going against some of these other events. I'm sure they would love to have some Central Arkansas players go up there, or Northeast Arkansas players to go over there and play. And they do for the like JB's tournament and the JB's Classic or whatever, or those kind of things. Kevin Burdick, we were talking about him. You two are the hardest working TDs, man. He's doing the same thing, doing that Flex Start Love, and it's a great format. Like Wyman was saying earlier, it's a 1 round in and out quickie. It's kind of the red light special of disc golf.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking too. Absolutely.
I know, I felt it, but it's tough, and I think Eli's right. You get some people just talking about it. We're talking about it now. I hope some people listen to this and want to talk about it some more. And like I said, it's nothing but a Skype meeting or something like that, right?
Well, and it's hard because we can solve everything here. We could get it all figured out, written out on a piece of paper, and it can all be hunky-dory, and then somebody from Missouri or somebody from Alabama comes in and it completely messes everything up. So I've been talking to Kevin, I've been talking to Matt, I've been talking to some other guys, larger names, Daniel Moose, and we've been trying to figure out how to get this sorted out. It's just no one knows what direction to take it, and that's been the hard part.
I know Daniel was trying to figure out why nobody wanted to sign up for that A tier. He's posted that a couple times, I think, about events.
He knew why, but the higher powers of the NADGT forced him to make that post. And
to rifle posts, I mean.
So what was the reasoning? Why did he think it didn't fill up?
Money was a big factor. I think it was about $100.
Money's a big factor.
For those events, there's a late registration fee if you register like within a week or two, whatever the date is, up to that event, and it's there just to cover the cost of shipping because they have to mail the players packs to you directly. Time of the year, there was other events happening in the state.
Time of the year, and it's
the course.
How many? How many rounds is it?
It was 3 rounds, 2 rounds at Persimmon on Saturday, which was brutal. Persimmon has a phenomenal course. It's very beautiful. It doesn't fit people that can throw very far. So for an amateur tournament, that course really didn't suit very many of those divisions. Big thanks to Gatekeeper for coming out and filming the advanced card, 2nd round and 3rd round.
That was a big deal, and that's
that was the reason. Yeah, that was the reason I did not sign up. Was the main reason was the course, and I would have loved to have seen it on a different course, maybe a more technical course. Especially with that time of year, you need to be somewhere where there's a lot more shade provided. So,
I think you can do it at Persimmon and then another course. I'm not going to say Greenbrier City Park course, but it's not NADGT worthy. But
I'd say keep it in the more of a metropolitan area like Little Rock, to be honest, just for what the city can provide as far as
the infrastructure. Yeah. I get that. Persimmon is our highest rated course in the area. We all have talked about it. I love Persimmon. No, it's not something I would go play 2 rounds in one day so I can win $1,000+ trip to Austin is not, in the middle of summer. I've been out there, but it was a lot like Res, man. It will mentally tax you. especially that second round, will definitely mentally tax you. You'll find out how much you really like disc golf in the hottest part of the day, and you're shooting like a +8 or 9. You know, you're just pretty far off the lead, and you got to come back the next day. Oh,
yeah. Well,
but yeah. What else we got, man? We're at $120 right now.
Well, I was gonna real quick. And I think that we should definitely have another episode with Eli on, talk more about TD stuff. More, I would love to talk a little longer about all this. It has been something we've been talking about before on the podcast. And one thing I just want to mention too is when we mentioned Autumn Glory, I was looking at it back again. I see that you are going, Eli.
Yes.
So I think I may sign up for this, Wolford. So we'll have to talk about that.
All right, yeah. What do we got locally? You got let's get that out there. We got Persimmon with their. I know Eli, like he was hitting on earlier, with no maliciousness, and I know he and I talked.
No malicious intent. No.
Where he can run it, and then maybe you can go play that, and then after you're done playing that, it's a flex start, so you can do it afterwards. Go play the Persimmon. Go win you a sword. Slash somebody for winning. Like,
wait, are you saying go play 2 rounds at Persimmon and then go play a flex?
No, it's one round Saturday, tee times, and then 1 round Sunday, tee times for the Arkansas AM Championship.
It's the AM Championship.
So you can go play their tournament, and then on your way back into Little Rock to Conway, I'm right there.
Yeah, good point.
It's right off the road, and it's a fun course. It's not the most. It's a good disc golf course, good city park course.
Just got a $490 ace this weekend.
Nice.
The past 2 weekends, see, first weekend I gave out $100 cash CTP. Last weekend was $115.
I do like that, and I won't pay into ace. I paid in for those 2 nubs of Hancock and Jesse because for their ace pot. I should have paid in for their CTP pot because my God, they would have. I don't know what the ones that they were so close on a lot of those, but they didn't pay in, so I was like, can't mark it. So
bummer. I definitely plan to be at the Green Bean Flex on Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that. I've never played that course. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Heard it's a lot of fun. Cool little city park course. So I'm looking forward to playing that.
The OB sheet's already up on Disc Golf Scene.
Okay, good to know. I'm actually looking at Disc Golf Scene right now.
And Disc Golf Scene for all you TDs is another great way to find out what's going on, man. I know some people don't use it, like that 3-man tournament at Rez wasn't using it that 1 year or a couple of years, and you just have to know all your resources if you're going to run an event, so that way you get the most out of it, especially if you're a charity event.
Well, best thing too, on that you do find the unsanctioned ones as well that can be on the same weekends, but for as far as the sanctioned tournaments go, if you can get a hold of Matt Lloyd, email him, he'll send you the Google sheet, of that, or it's up on Facebook. You might have to look for it, but it's on
down there a little bit, but
you can see the entire list of the whole year of what's going on when, because a lot of those, a lot of the sanctioned tournaments, whoever's the TD of that might not get it up on Disc Golf Scene as early as Eli has. So
I think that's what you do. You plan out. It's the best way going forward for any TD. Like us, I like to find where there's holes and maybe try to fill that, just because, but we don't have that anymore. We're not Swiss cheese now. We're provolone.
That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, man. And so we're pretty, thanks to guys like Eli, thanks to guys like Kevin Burdick, thanks to guys like Matt Lloyd who continue to do what he does, D. Lee up there in the Northeast, and Daniel Moose out West, and Tim Broadway, I know, does a lot out there helping him as well. So these are all guys that run most of the events in the state, y'all. And it's like I said, it's not for the money, it's more for the player. That's why we did it. Get you a good event.
And we didn't have to keep doing it because now, like you said, we're it's provolone, not Swiss. And
and we get to do fun things like this. And because I love disc golf, and this keeps me vested in it. And the 501 page, I got to do a better job at maintaining that. I haven't really been me on that, but so thank you, Eli. Thank you for all you do. We appreciate it, even though it is Prodigy and you have limited Innova stuff, but that's all right. I don't cash anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Sounds like you just need to Maybe you just need to throw some different stuff.
Man, I do have that tumbleweed, but man, every time I grab something, I do like it more when I'm just sitting there thinking, but I already got this disc in my bag as an
with Innova, you have like what 100 plus choices, and
got
they
it,
just keep
100
making
plus
shit.
plastics.
So, yeah.
Alien, bro.
Oh,
it is.
Eli, you're not running Battle in the Burrow this year, is that Daniel?
That's Daniel. We've talked about maybe in future years I take over to get he doesn't ever get to play his events, and that's the best part about being a tournament director is we don't really get to play our events very often.
Yeah,
he's itching to play.
And if you do play them, you're so like into the TD end of in your head that throwing is not very fun.
True. Yeah, it is difficult to run a tournament and play. So. I love Battle in the Burrow. I can't wait to get up there to play that. I've already signed up for it. Craighead is 2 great tracks there, so I'm really looking forward to that tournament.
The new course is coming along pretty good.
Oh yeah. So the new course is getting pretty close.
We've got about 11 holes cut out. We need tee boxes and baskets. With the cooler temps this week, I'll probably be out there every day trying to get chainsaw through the last of them because Natural State Championships is coming up pretty quick, so we're running out of time to get everything done.
Yeah, let's bring up that one real quick too. Natural State Championships, and that is going to be on the new course that you guys are building if it's finished in time. Otherwise,
it's going to be finished.
Okay, they will be on the new course.
Oh, I like that. He didn't say if; he said when.
All right.
Over my dead body, it will be done. This is TDing is my full-time job now. So Monday to Thursday, I don't have anything to do other than go work on that course. So,
okay. Well, maybe Wolford and I can figure out a time to get up there and help.
That's funny you were saying that. I was just like, man, what is it, 2.5 hours? I mean, it's whatever. It's a day, a couple days worth of work, Is it 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, right?
It's
right
3
at
hours
2.
to get up there. Yeah.
I drive slow.
From your house, it's maybe 2:15.
Yeah,
You're just outside of Little Rock.
Sure.
It's 2.
Southwest.
We're always looking for help. If I could get a couple people local, if we could organize some kind of work day where people come down and we just haul sticks out of the fairway so that we can burn stuff, or we pour some concrete in a hole, or we, do a little bit of trimming here and there, like that would be huge.
Sweet. Well, yeah, maybe we can.
What's the trees out there? Surely no cedars, right? No
there's
cedars.
There's a couple of cedars here and there. There's a lot of white oaks that are absolutely stunning. 4 or 5 feet, 6 feet across, so they're massive. There's
nice.
So many unique looking trees that we're incorporating into the course that have fun little like bends or that split out or do all these kinds of things like that. We're playing underneath them or playing to them or playing from them. I'm really excited to let people see what we've got going out there.
I'm excited to see it as well and play it. And then the other course that's involved in that tournament in Natural State is JBO, or is the I just totally lost
This Side of Heaven.
This Side of Heaven, yeah. The pro course at This Side of Heaven will be played as well. If you're playing up in the higher tiers, you're going to be playing the same layout as the pros do. So very cool.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Everybody gets at least one
play
shot at the course.
Nice.
No matter the tee.
So, what is the other tees? Is it the
It'll be
FPO
the
tees?
FPO tees.
So,
see, I always keeping score for them. I always wondered how. I always wondered just how I could play that.
Yeah, I'm going to be curious. Does MA1 play the gold tees or the whatever they are for the MPO, or do they play FPO?
All pro. I can actually pull it up. All pro.
Yeah, I would think MA1
will play
the big
gold
boy.
tees. At least that's how I had it last year. And then like MA2, MA3, all those lowers will play from the shorter tees. It's all tee times. It's going to be one round each day. So
sweet.
just real quick. I love tea times. I don't know why. I do too. I just think the shotgun start's tough, but I like the tea time. I know a lot of people don't because like the pros don't want to wait all day or whatever because they usually go off at last. But I really like tea times. I don't need my name announced when I'm up there to throw, but I like
a 2-round tournament and do it. Yeah, Saturday and Sunday, both tea times. If I'm traveling out of town to go to a tournament, like let's just use Northwest Arkansas for an example. If I'm going up to play in a tournament for the weekend, I love Northwest Arkansas, so I'm happy to travel there and play that tournament. And then I get to have a tea time start for each day so I can really enjoy the day doing something else after this.
You can plan it, right?
Yeah, it's more like a getaway rather than, oh man, I got up there Friday after work, go to sleep, get up, play disc golf all day, tired, don't really want to go out in the evening. So, hopefully would stick around for Sunday and enjoy being out, not in Little Rock, but
we've also got a local brewery in town that we might try to do some kind of unofficial players party or official players party hangout there.
Who's the brewery up there?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that.
Yeah, you can't bring it up. And
I'm gonna get absolutely shunned for not knowing this. I'm
going to start talking. I'm going to keep talking, figure it out. Because I think they go hand in hand.
We're not live. Native.
All right.
NATIV. It's Native Brewworks.
I'm looking that up right now. I thought I'd remember hearing.
Okay. Wait. The same way that the clothing line spells it?
No, it's actually Native.
Is there an E?
There's an E right here on Google, but I don't know if that's actually what they have up there.
Oh, I may have left off the E.
Yeah, it is.
Because I was wondering if I forget those gentlemen's names who, because they play disc golf. Very surprised Native hasn't really tried to jump in the clothing line because that one dude, what's his name? He had an ace here, and they've always been nice to me the couple times I've met them.
Yeah, they're good guys. And yeah, great local business to support. Well, that's cool. I didn't know that Jonesboro even had a brewery up there. So you guys are going to have a player party, possibly?
I've got to talk to a guy that works there. He's a local disc golfer. I'm hoping we can have something out there. They've got a really good space. That's where we were in our putting competition earlier this year.
Nice.
So we kind of took that space over. They've got a little outdoor patio area with cornhole and the little ring on a string and ping pong table, and
it's and there's those are here as well, and it just makes too much sense to not do it.
It makes too much sense together. There's so many courses and breweries, down in Austin. What is that one in Austin?
God, there's just so many of them in Austin. Seems like, man, when I was down there, my favorite, when the fuck is it? It's in my room. Devil's Backbone, made by Real Ale, and man, that was fun. You go down there and drink for free, and then they got smart because there was all these homeless people showing up like way outside Austin. But they go hand in hand. Flyway's doing a great job with Matt for the Northwest Arkansas. I hope this Native works out for you. I think it's a smart move. Our player party for the states, I thought was a good deal. I ran into those guys who won like everything at Cedar Glades. That's how I remembered them, because they have a half basket, half Tree of Life. It's a really cool logo, and they were there at Cedar Glades at your tournament. And I was like, oh, hey, you're the guys that won everything at the lottery. They're great. So, and they're like, yeah, they're nice dudes. But man, it's a marriage, right? It should work. So it just makes too much sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, we're sitting at an hour and a half, a little over it now. Anything else you guys want to bring up?
I'm working on a YouTube series. It'll probably be a little while before it comes out, but I'm hoping that can give the newer generation of players, and even some of the older generation of players, a more in-depth insight into tournaments and tournament play and things of that nature. I don't want to give away too much so nobody like sweeps the idea out from under my feet.
Sure.
But I'm hoping to have that maybe get started by maybe the end of the year, hopefully a little sooner.
Okay, very cool. I like it. With what you just told me, without giving too much away. So I dig it. I dig it.
All right, so Wyman, we need to come up with a series that gets behind the scenes of tournaments.
I just wrote it. I wrote it down. Don't worry.
Okay, good. All right. We were looking for that for our new, but there it is. And but no, thank you, Eli, for coming on. We really appreciate it. Thanks for all you do on your TDN, especially from Northeast. I mean, you're up in the, like I said, 2 hours and 15 minutes, whatever you said, to here. So we appreciate it. Running good events. And what we mean by a good event is I got my player pack and the score went fine, whether I played well or not. And there was I didn't hear any negative complaints from anyone, especially from the dude who won $490 something bucks. I've never heard of that gentleman before, but good for him. Like an MA50 player or something like that?
MA60, I think.
MA60 hole 4, $492. Boom.
He said it was his first ace.
Oh,
God,
wow.
How awesome is that, dude?
Okay.
How good for, what was his name? Good for that dude. Steve Ravak. Good for you, bro.
Yeah,
I'm happy. I saw your picture on Facebook. I love seeing ace pictures. I think they're great, and especially first one and that
First
kind of
one,
thing.
you get $500. What the
Yeah, well, it's downhill after that because you'll get the ones where nobody's around and don't count, and then you'll get the one where you forgot to pay into the ace pod. You know those. So Eli, yes, thank you so much, buddy.
Thanks, Eli. We'll have you on.
And
again.
thanks, Prodigy, for sponsoring you. And hopefully, if they're smart, they'll. I'm sure will, and they're good folks over there. They seem to be making the right moves, especially with player person and getting. We can get into another thing, but all right. So let's go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, I had a little internet thing come up, but anyways, I love you all. Thank you very much, Eli. Do you love people?
I love everybody. Thank y'all for having me. The support that y'all keep giving me in the local, Central Arkansas area is just it's unbelievable. It means the world. The fact that y'all want to come support me in my business endeavor so that I can keep bringing quality tournaments to everybody else. It just means a lot. So just big thanks to everybody.
Yeah, you're doing it the hard way, which is the good way.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the hell out of you. So.
Yeah. You're starting out small, and next thing you know, you'll be driving some sort of dynamic disc van or something. It always seems like there's well, Trilogy. I feel like that's all I see a lot, but no, I do see a lot of Prodigy. Those are the real ones I see. I don't see Innova. I don't really see Discmania vans or anything like that.
Yeah, Innova and Discmania, they just don't feel like having big teams, I guess.
They really don't, man. Where Prodigy's gone out and finding, that's what I'm talking about. They're going out and finding this young talent and getting them signed, right? Because everybody has access to these players, don't they? I mean, Innova, DD, or the Trilogy, and all these people have access to the Gannonburrs of the world. But Prodigy's, whoever their player development person is, seems to be right on the money.
It's all about money. Unfortunately, Prodigy doesn't have a ton of it. So we may or may not lose a couple of guys this year just because companies like Innova or whatever can pay significantly more.
Innova's not. No, they like I said, man, they're a one trick pony kind of person, man. They got one guy and that's it, and everybody else, you hope that somebody young they've found. There's just nobody. Zachariah Johnson. I don't know anybody young for Innova.
I mean, Zach's like 28, 29. He's not really even that young.
There you go. Calvin, Bradley Williams, and then you have all the guys who make disc and everybody wants them. The Barsby, Big Germ. Not that Nick Sexton's not a bad player, but I mean, they're just not. They're more household names for their disc than they are for
Firebird's overrated.
Playing.
I agree.
Firebird is. There's a lot of people out there that have a very similar, if not better. What did you start throwing, Wyman? That we got you?
Orbit Felon.
You dropped that Fat Felon. Yeah. You throw it so well and it looks so good.
Orbit Felon. Yeah, dude, it feels great. I was a Firebird thrower for a long time, and to be honest, it was kind of the inconsistency of the dome. It was very hard for me to find just complete flat, and that kind of annoyed me. So
It's a big deal,
Yeah.
and if you find one, people go buy about 20 of them if you like it, because you're not going to find it again if you see it. So, all right, man, that's it. That's all I have.
That's all I have. Eli,
so thank you, Eli.
Thank you, Eli, for coming on, man. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. Absolutely.
Yep, not a problem, buddy. We'll holler at you. We'll see you here next weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Love all you guys. Thanks for listening, and be kind to yourself. Be kind to others.
All right.
Later.